Hello everyone, happy Thursday. Hope everyone is doing well. As always, hit that thumbs up button and subscribe, please. Some positive and surprising news today. Nice to have something to look forward to. And I also wanted to do a cute throwback that I found from the TIG archives. So, welcome to the chat, everyone. There's almost 300 plus of you already. So let's get to it. Right. Sentebale and their Polo Cup is coming back later this year, Saturday, the 12th of August, 2023, in Singapore. Dinner and ticket pricing availability, contact the members office for those of you who are lucky enough to be in that polo set. If there are any squaddies that are and you go, please do come on the show. I would love to interview you. But yes, of course, this is for charity, and Nacho's involved with this, and also the Prince of, is it Lethoso? And obviously Sentebale is the charity that Harry founded when he was 19, I believe. And the polo raises tens of thousands of dollars The interesting thing, though, about all of this is that it's in Singapore. Who else is going to Singapore this year? Willie and Kitty for Earthworm. Now, I did say when. Sorry, guys, my voice is really croaky. Give me a sec. Sorry about that. I did say when it was announced that Singapore would be a safe choice for Kate and William because they would be given the red carpet rollout with very little pushback and protest. I just don't see Singapore as the type of place where anybody would protest. I think it will go very smoothly for them there. They're not going to have all the booing and athletes saying that they don't care about them coming. You're not going to have any of. Where is it now? Do I still have the clip? Do I still have it? You're not going to have any of this.
Question: did you get a chance to meet with the royal family? And if not, how was it like having them there in the building?
Oh dear, sorry. Let me play that again. You're not going to have any of this.
Question: did you get a chance to meet with the royal family? And if not, how was it like having them there in the building?
Jesus, Mary, and Joseph?
The Prince and Princess of Wales.
Oh, no, I did not. I'm only familiar with one royal family. I don't know too much about that one.
Yeah, so you're not going to have any of that. However, I did also say when it was first announced that Earthworm was going to Singapore that it was a very off-brand choice for the royals. A little bit too much of an innovative choice. Coincidence or conspiracy? I don't know. But wasn't the very first Earthworm originally wasn't it meant to be in New York? Or wasn't William, so somebody please help me out here. William was meant to go to New York for something, if I'm not mistaken. Can somebody help me? Because my memory is missing with me right now. Nonetheless, they ended up going to Boston. They ended up going to America, which in itself was also strange. You went all the way to America to have this Earthshot prize. They didn't even invite the Earthshot winners, but they invited all of these American celebrities. Chloe and Haley Bailey. I think they invited what's her name? Didn't they invite Ellie Goulding? There was a couple of people there. Okay, Agnes, it was for the UN. Yes, it was meant to be for the UN. Can anybody remember why he didn't go? Can anybody remember why he didn't go? But yes, it was meant to be for the UN, where Harry also spoke, and at one point I think Meghan was also going to speak, but it got cancelled for another reason. Also, but yeah, it just seems like Big Brother is following Little Brother around everywhere. And how much do you want to bet that someone somewhere managed to get some intel? And then they decided to have Earthflop in Singapore. Just wow. Like what do I even say to this? I just don't believe that it can be a coincidence. Because who on that Royal Rota team that copy everything would think, oh, let's go to Singapore? I don't know. I just don't see it happening. And perhaps this is something else that we should continue to track. Copying Meghan's clothes, we can track that. Even copying the font of projects, we've been able to track that. The font, the color schemes, the ideas. Now apparently we're just following the two people who we chased away, following them everywhere, following them to America, following them to Singapore. Right, go to your comments. Teresa, I missed the TIG. I am so jealous of anyone that got to read the TIG before I got shut down. Boy. Yeah. They need to just stop copying everything that they're doing. It's getting weird. William Earth flop is not a coincidence. I don't think it's a coincidence either. I don't. I'm just glad that the Sentebale Polo Cup is going to happen in August. So it would have been done before November. It would have been done before Earth flop. And I'm assuming that hasn't been confirmed, but I am assuming that yes, Harry will be there, Nacho will be there, and I hope we get to see Meghan there as well. Singapore, I think, will definitely be a place where they can secure their safety, and you won't have to worry about paparazzi chasing them around. Right. Oh yes, that was it. The Queen passed away, so she cancelled, and then she also cancelled the variety event that she was meant to go to. Yes, now I remember. Now I remember. Thanks for reminding me. Right, onto the TIG. Yes, I found this really nice blog post and I just thought I'd read it out because it was nice and positive and uplifting, and it gives us an insight into Meghan and her pre-royal life. So this was a post which was titled "A New Year's Resolution," and she said, "Run a marathon, stop biting my nails, stop swearing, relearn French. These make my New Year's resolution list nearly, aka actually, every single year. The marathon hasn't happened. The swearing comes in lulls triggered by being overworked or feeling mighty cheeky after a couple of drinks. Then there's the French, a language I studied through high school and then lost as I immersed myself speaking Spanish with the Argentinians during my stint in Buenos Aires. I have put my little Rosetta Stone headset in my eager ears every year, resolving to do interviews en français, but much to my chagrin, it hasn't stuck. And when it comes to the biting of the nails, well, it still happens with a turbulent flight or a stressful day. It's unladylike, but then again, so is the swearing, damn it. So here's my question. What is the goal of a New Year's resolution? Um, I, of- I often find myself wallowing in disappointment when I set a goal I can't achieve, of measuring each day's triumph or failure as a benchmark of how the year is going. And at 34 years old, I'm over that. This year, I resolved to not have a resolution. If I can't run a marathon, that's okay. I'm getting older. My knees are bothering me. If it takes me a couple more years to lock down that French tutor and now the language, j'adore oh so much, that's cool too. My nails will be fine. And if I toss out a 4-letter word once in a blue moon, well, frankly, I think it adds character. For this new year, the only thing I aim to do is approach life playfully, to laugh and enjoy, to keep my standards high, but my level of self acceptance higher. Amen. My castmate and friend Gina listened to me rattle about my plans for the haters, bullet pointing the multitudinous events of my schedule and planned jaunts from one place to the next. She stopped me. Meg, I would just say one thing. Make sure you leave room for magic. I believe Megan actually brought this up in her in the Netflix documentary. And that's the point. My New Year's resolution is to leave room for magic, to make my plans and be okay if they sometimes break, to set my goals, but to be open to change, to let the magic know that there is an open door policy with me in 2016. And that is always welcome to join the party. I invite you to do the same. Have a beautiful, blissful, and incredibly magical 2016. So grateful to have you on the ride. And of course, 2016, what happened? She met Harry. Wow, wow, wow. It was almost like she was looking into her own crystal ball. Incredible. Yes, KPG. Public demonstrations in Singapore are very rare due to laws that make it illegal to hold cause-related events without valid license from the authorities. Yes, and I just don't see that anybody would. I don't think that anybody feels that strongly about the British Royals in Singapore. Unless there's anyone from Singapore, and I'm wrong about that, please do let me know. Boyd, you said there's something wrong with channel membership. Oh, yeah, if something went wrong, it maybe just could be the details that you're putting in. Somebody tried to send me like Cash App the other day, and for some people, it doesn't work in their countries, so that's why I give you so many different options. But thank you so much for wanting to support. Maybe just try again. Joe, you said, and can we have that photo of Megan doing yoga pose by the beach on the front page and drive the train just crazy? Yeah. I mean, look at that. That is crazy flexibility right there. Just wow. And Harry was checking on those pictures. Right. Next thing. Next thing. Oh, David Furnish, Elton John's partner, or husband, sorry, did an interview with Kay Burley, and he did bring up Harry. And this is what he said. Let's have a listen to this.
He's taken a lot of flack. He's fine. Harry's great. He's taken a lot of flack in the media. And you have to remember he's taking on the media. So what actually happens in the courtroom and what you read about in the newspaper are often two very, very different things. But we are in fairly regular contact, and he was very pleased the way things went in court, and he's doing really well.
Fantastic. Heard it directly from a family friend and colleague. I believe David Furnish and the Sussexes are working on a project together. So lovely. Great to know that Harry is doing great. Doing not so great, the other royal couple. The only reason I'm even bringing this article up is not even to be petty. I'm not even bringing this up to be petty, because The Cut is a pretty nasty magazine anyway. They've been pretty horrible to Meghan also. So it was William's birthday yesterday. I don't know if he did anything, if there were any royal portraits, but yeah, it was William's birthday yesterday. And The Cut posted this: "Happy birthday to Big Willie, aka the Prince of Pegging, aka Prince William." And the only reason I bring this up is to say, I find it interesting that some of these publications are being this daring, because there was a point where some publications who aren't even in the UK, who, to be honest, can print almost anything they want without fearing the palace lawyers. But what would happen sometimes is that the palace lawyers would get to them, and then you'd see the article, then it disappeared. So in the past, The Cut wouldn't post something like this. I mean, they've posted shady things before. I think they posted something about, how dare Kate Middleton be rude while wearing a funny hat. But nothing like this. Because usually the palace would just swoop in and have it removed. But this is still up there. So it's just interesting to see some of these publications being, I guess, not so afraid of any backlash from the palace. Next thing I wanted to point out, Windrush. The royals have been all over Windrush. The Wellses social media posted, "Today we celebrate Windrush, a defining moment in our nation's history. We honour the extraordinary contributions and the resilience of the Windrush generation." But when the whole Windrush scandal was going on, you had absolutely nothing to say. You had nothing to say, no support, and even with the scandal going on, you went all the way to the Caribbean and decided to do that colonizer cosplay tour that you did, waving to children behind cages, rolling around in jeeps like we're still in the olden times. And then you had Sophie and Edward giving the lead. I can't remember which country it was, but he gave him a picture of them. So, as usual, I just see this as PR dressing. Oh, and mind you, they went on that Caribbean royal tour, um, knowing that the deportation flights were going on, and they actually, I think at one point they had stopped some of the deportation flights just so that they could go on the tour, and very little was said about it while they were there. Also, this guy, Trevor Phillips, was knighted. Trevor Phillips was knighted by William, and he's had quite a lot to say about the Sussexes. Now, he said that no one cared about Meghan's race. She and Harry had a golden chance to make things different for millions and chose not to. That's unforgivable. This was written in the Daily Mail, the same publication who introduced Meghan to the British public as straight out of Compton. And he wants to stand there and say nobody cared about Meghan's race. He also was on a panel of journalists with a tiny J, who said, I can't remember what he said himself. Oh yeah, Harry and Meghan can expect no mercy. Yeah, that's what he said. Now he's saying that, but 14 years ago, when he wasn't trying to get that OBE, CGE, TTP, OBGYN that he now has, he was saying racism would block British Barack Obama. Head of Equality Watchdog says ethnic minority candidates in the UK would be prevented from reaching the highest level. So what's been the cause of the change of tune, sir? What has been the cause of the change of tune? Please do let us know. Anything for a little medal and to feel like you're part of the club, right? Forever disappointing. Forever disappointing. Like, sorry. Happy 60th birthday. Oh my. I think he's like 42 or something. Oh dear. Have a look. Oh yes, actually, that's a good point. My point of view. It's not the first time the series is being held in Singapore, and that's why I suspect there's definitely some copycatting going on. Christina, I'm glad Harry kept in touch with those who remember his mother. Yes. Yeah, exactly, Joe blocked. While accepting that racism would block a British Obama, those coconuts need to go take several seats. It's just mad. Yeah, it's definitely giving pick me. Thank God for the internet, or else we wouldn't have the receipts. Oh well, I hope he's happy with his OBE, CCG, OBGYN medal. Linda, you just asked Chat GPT how many characters there are in Spare by Prince Harry, and it claims the book doesn't exist. Very strange, because it can tell me about every other book under the sun. Wow, that is so interesting, Linda. Wow. Could you maybe run some more tests and maybe ask it some other questions about Harry and Meghan? I've actually been trying to log in and create an account. It's been giving me a few problems, but if I get in, now that you've mentioned that, I'd be interested to hear what the AI has to say about the other members of the royal family. Yeah, ask it what it thinks of Meghan. My gosh. Oh dear. Thanks for letting us know about that, Linda. I wonder why that is. Yes, Vera, I have seen this. Debris have been found. Have they confirmed that it is actually the OceanGate submarine. I am actually going to get onto that story, but I'm going to leave it as the last story because I am fascinated by that whole thing. But I'm going to leave it last because it's not a royal story. Chat GPT is an AI tool, a very, very advanced AI tool, actually, which is why I'm surprised that it doesn't know about Prince Harry's spare. And it can literally write whole books. Or like if you ask it to write you like an essay in the style of Shakespeare, you know, it can write that. It can write all types of things. Very, very powerful tool. A lot of copywriters have been using it. Okay, next thing. Yeah, this guy, Stephen A. Smith. So this guy is meant to be some kind of sports pundit in the US, and I'm sure he's a big deal in the sports world. I only really know him for being a meme. But he said that Sussexes, or people only care about the Sussexes when they're insulting the royals. I don't know where all of these people are suddenly coming out of the woodworks to comment on Harry and Meghan. I have my suspicions. I guess some people have also just figured out, well, if I want to get into the news, I want to be talked about, just come after Harry and Meghan. And he's saying people only care about them when they're insulting the royals. Well, sir, outside of your sports bubble, nobody really knows about you. Harry and Meghan are global. Right. Did I have anything else royal related? Oh, apparently Camilla and Charles's horse won. One of their horses won. And Charles almost dropped one of the cups. That's the update on your king and queen. I find it amazing how at a horse show, these two can have so much emotion. Like, where was this emotion at the coronation? We spent £250 million on your party and we didn't get this much emotion. This is the emotion that you would have expected to see when someone was getting crowned. But instead, we only get this when our horses are winning and when we almost drop the cup. But yeah, I'm just gonna finish with your comments, and then we will go on to this ocean liner because y'all, me and Lightside have been going back and forth about this. Truly fascinated. Yes, Yolanda, that's also I think part of it. Trying to use Windrush to win the Commonwealth over. Listen, Jamaica already said we're done, so ain't no point. Somebody also had a very interesting theory I saw on Twitter. They said they think that Piers Morgan is using people like Kelly Osbourne to speak on behalf of him because his lawyers probably told him to shut his mouth. So probably expect more of the usual crazies to come out on behalf of Piers Morgan to rant about Harry and Meghan because he must be so desperate to have a rant right now and he just can't. Yeah, he knows nothing about them. Why is he making comments? Yes, I forgot to mention that Simmons guy is also a friend of his, which is wild because hasn't that Simmons guy made some pretty R-ist comments in the past? He was on Pierce's show. Okay. Yeah, the literal definition of an Uncle Tom. Oh. Yes, Tamiko, I do believe that Piers Morgan has friends speaking for him now. Right, let's wrap things up with this ocean liner. So it's actually pretty insane. So they have found debris. Now let me just double check because someone in the chat said that they have. Someone in the chat said that it is the debris, but the only articles that I've seen have said they've just found debris, but they haven't confirmed that it's debris of the ocean liner. So let me just have a look and see if I can find any updates on this. But as you can see on the screen, like everything, The Simpsons predicted that this would happen. Let's have a look. OceanGate debris. I mean, all around, just really, really tragic event. Oh, okay. So literally in the last 12 minutes, they said located debris has been assessed to be from the external body of the missing submarine, according to a memo. And there is actually a man on YouTube, a submarine expert, somebody that's actually been in this field for almost 20 years. And he did one of the most detailed videos I've seen on this, where he explained what could have happened and why it could have happened. And let me actually just share it with you because it's gotten almost like 1 million views. And one of the theories that he had was literally that it just, imploded because of the pressure. And check out this video from the actual company. Oh no, sorry. This is, I think, it's from a CBS documentary or something. And just listen to what they had to say, because this just blew my mind.
Service. An experimental submersible vessel that has not been approved or certified by any regulatory body and could result in physical injury, disability, emotional trauma, or death. Where do I sign?
Oh, take your shoes off. That's customary.
Okay. Wow. Inside, the sub has about as much room as a minivan.
So this is not your grandfather's submersible. We only have one button. That's it. It should be like an elevator. It shouldn't take a lot of skill.
The Titan is the only 5-person sub in the world that can reach Titanic depths, 2.4 miles below the sea. It's also the only one with a toilet. Sort of. And yet, I couldn't help noticing how many pieces of this sub seemed improvised.
We can use these off-the-shelf components. I got these from Camper World. We run the whole thing with this game controller.
Come on! It seems like...
Yeah, so they were using a game controller, and apparently the game controller was it was controlled via Bluetooth. So as you can see, it wasn't even connected to anything. How are you going to use Bluetooth that low, that deep under the ocean? It just doesn't make any sense to me. It's like they just made some DIY experimental sub and decided to just put it in the ocean. And the first 2 times it seemed to go well, because this has gone down before and nothing happened. And this time it just didn't go right. And yes, you're right, the CEO was skirting safety regulations, but it seems like there was no direct regulations for this type of machine. And what's even more crazy now is what's coming out about the stepson of one of the billionaires who was on the sub. So this guy, I blurred the middle image because ain't nobody needs to see that. This guy got into it with Cardi B. So Cardi B comes out and does this really weird video. She has a really weird filter on it. So it looks like there's a weird man behind her, but that's just a filter. And she's basically saying, how can you be at a concert? Basically, his stepson went to a concert, a Blink-182 concert. And Cardi B was saying, well, how can you be at a concert when your, stepfather is somewhere under the ocean? And we don't know if he's alive. And not only was he at a concert, he was talking about ladies I'm single. He was going back and forth with OnlyFans models. And then his mom told him to delete all the posts. Well, it's come out that this guy, he'd actually gone to jail for 2 years. He, textbook incel, threatened to boom boom a whole concert, has been stalking women, had restraining orders against him. Apparently had a tattoo of one woman who he never met, wasn't his girlfriend. And I've had one squaddie actually tell me that her sister interacted with this guy and he was a creep. So very unfortunate all around. And the stepson, to me, seems like he's more concerned about his inheritance than his stepfather, who is very likely now deceased. So this is what happens when you're too spoiled and too entitled in life. But I think there's going to be a very long investigation as to why this happened, why this was allowed, and yeah, I'm sure new regulations are coming, and I think even more interesting has been the reaction from the public. It's been very, very mixed, I have to say. Some people feel very bad. Some people have, have just been posting memes. Some people don't feel bad at all. And I think a lot of that rests on the fact that these are incredibly wealthy people, and it's just I mean, my take on this is that lives have been lost, and that's very unfortunate. But I think the reaction from the public, like if I was a billionaire, that would worry me, because people clearly are looking at you and going, what are you doing for the world? Is it okay that these people have a lot of wealth? I mean, even even in the comment section, I can see just how polarizing the reaction is, and I think that needs to be studied as well. Okay, I'm not going to say too much else on that. Thank you as always for coming along. And don't forget to hit that thumbs up button on your way out and subscribe if you haven't already. I think we're almost at 17,000, so thank you so much. P, you said the previous voyages were bad too. The story just came out. Yeah, I think there was one that was like aborted or something. So you said, and it was not supposed to take 5 people. The capsule was made of carbon fiber. Yes, I saw that in the guy's analysis. It's just sad all around. Putting it through so many journeys would have put pressure on the capsule. Yeah, to me, it just looks like it's very likely that it imploded because of the pressure. Because the lid and the bottom, it was actually glued on. Like it wasn't bolted in any kind of way. It was glued. Yeah, Tamika, like your life is in the hands of a game control and a button. And what was even more weird is that a lot of the technologies that you have on submarines in general was not on this sub. I don't understand why they also wouldn't have maybe some kind of like inflatables that would go off maybe, because you can't open this thing from the inside, which is another very unfortunate thing. Granted, even if they could get out, they'd probably be crushed by the pressure anyway. And also, how did it detach from the cord? I mean, there's just so many questions. I think they were down there for about an hour and a half or something, and then contact was just lost. Compton, you said a man that did the first trip on the sub said they had a problem within an hour of submerging and came back. The second time worked. My goodness. Oh. Samir Khan, you said too much money for not secure trip. I feel bad for the kid. Yeah. I think one of the billionaires took his 19-year-old. I mean, just a horrible way to go. Yeah, and this is another thing that's been coming up. Agnes, you're right. The thing that gets me is all over the media, nothing for the 500 who died in Greece. So these are the migrants who are on the boat. And I believe that there was actually a woman who was trying to rescue them, she's now been arrested. So these are the other debates about, morality and who gets attention, who doesn't, who gets saved, who doesn't, and why. Because the US Coast Guard, the Canadian Coast Guard, I think even France is sending something to go and deal with this submarine situation. Yeah. Federica, there are so many men who take their lives into their own hands by doing stupid stuff. I hiked and rafted the Grand Canyon. Our guard had to send 2 men back because they had endangered our lives. So I'm very, very interested in deep diving and scuba. I would never do anything past 30 or 40 meters, but I do follow a lot of people that do like caves and like deep diving, and it is just like, I don't know. On the one hand, I'm like, I admire that you're so brave, but this is insane. Why do you like what it what is it that compels someone to do something so dangerous and put their lives at risk, and possibly whoever has to rescue you at risk? But sorry for that experience, Federica. Mary H. said, I can think of more things to do with money than what they did. Yeah, I'm sure we all can. I'm sure we all can. OceanGate statement have said, we now believe that our CEO and yeah, everybody else who was on the sub has sadly been lost. Yeah. Oh dear. Yeah, yeah, Bluetooth game controller. Hi. BC, this is submersible, not submarine. Thank you for correcting me. Yes. Do submarines even go that deep? All the way to the Titanic? I've seen the machines that they send down there with the cameras, but do submarines go down even that deep? Insane. I mean, granted, it took how many decades to find the Titanic? Something like 7 decades? And apparently, I think the CEO or one of the people on OceanGate is like I think his wife is like a distant descendant of the couple that was the richest couple on the Titanic. Wild, right? All right, I'm gonna end it there. Thank you as always, everyone, for coming, and I will see you tomorrow. Ciao.